Okay, I'm gonna do a little demonstration to kind of help with some of you who are confused on how to wire the airplane. So you need to get 3 lights, and with the lights you're gonna want to strip out the wires on the end. To strip the wires on here, many of you, if you use the stranded AWG stranded portion, it's either gonna be the number 18, and when you strip wire, you pinch together, you release lightly, rotate, pinch again, and then pull. That seems to work really well. Some of you might still want to use the number 20. That works as well. Crimp it, rotate, crimp again, and then pull the light off, or pull the wire off. So again, I think 18 actually works a little bit better. I feel number 20 cuts a little bit of the wire away. Anyway, you want those wires stripped like this so you have plenty to work with. Give them a little twist to kind of make them a little more solid as one piece because they're little individual strands. Now, the part that was confusing for some of you yesterday was how do we cut the other wire, or what length do we cut it to? We have red wire or green wire. Green wire is a little thicker. I'd use the number 18 to strip that wire. The red wire seems to strip really nicely using the number 20 on the stranded. Okay, so here's what you have to do. This light will mount to this wing. Do not glue it right now, but it'll eventually mount to that spot. What you need to do is cut a wire that will run from here, it'll run from this end, and will line up with where the motor comes out. So what you're gonna do is you have to splice together wire. One way to do it is to make a T shape and then twist the wire. We're not gonna do that. You're gonna try keeping the wire in a straight line, and you can try twisting it together to hold it together like this. Now, if you struggle with that, don't worry, we'll have something set up to help you, because it doesn't, as you can just see there, it doesn't always stay together as well as you'd like. So you're gonna have a wire there. It's gonna run from this spot here to there, okay? Then you need to run from this wire along your wing down the fuselage, and that will connect to another Christmas light back here. So you have to kind of roughly figure out how long that needs to be. So you kind of just run your wire down the wing, down the back of the plane, and then cut that wire in the appropriate spot. Maybe give yourself a little extra. Then you strip out about a ½ inch or so of wire, maybe a little less than ½ inch. Okay, that will tie in to another Christmas light in the back of the plane. Then we need a wire to go from the back of the plane up to the wing to our other Christmas light over here. So what you're gonna do is cut another wire the same size as the wire you just cut, because it's going the same distance back to the other light. Again, it's just kind of approximate. It doesn't have to be really exact science. So this would run up this side of the plane, runs up the fuselage, and it's gonna run up and connect with that light up there. The last wire we need to cut is going to run from this wire, and we're probably gonna run underneath the plane. We'll drill a hole in the fuselage, and it's gonna come back and has to connect back to the motor wires over here. So this is gonna be your longest wire, your last one. So figure out how long that needs to be, and then strip out those wires. It's confusing, I understand that, but I think once you start to get the hang of it, you'll be okay. Once you're done with that, you can bring your plane with you, but you have to be very careful when you solder that you don't get solder on the plane. It will melt part of your plane. What you have to start doing is figuring which wires need to get soldered where. So our first one was with the light, we need to solder to this spot right here so this wire can hang off by the motor wires. So what you have to do is you're going to use these alligator clips to pinch this wire in here and have it run into one of these wires, and they're gonna kind of like overlap, or if you want to kind of like pinch them together a little bit. Then what you do, you take your soldering iron, put the soldering iron on the bottom of the wires, and then you're going to solder them together. As best you can. There we go, okay? So that one's done. You continue on. Test it, give it a little pull, see how well it holds together. Okay, continue on, figure out, okay, this is the one that runs down the side of the plane, that's your next one. Crimp that in there. Take out the wire that you have cut. It's gonna run down the side of the plane. And again, if you want to splice these in together so they solder up better, kind of keep them in a line and give them a little twist so they're really connected there nicely. My last one wasn't connected as nice. And then put some heat beneath it, let it heat up for like 10 seconds, and then touch it off onto the soldering iron. Try not to start a fire. Okay, so there's gonna be a lot of people soldering today. Be extremely careful that you don't burn yourself or your neighbor. And you'll just finish this out, and then you tape it down onto the plane and try to make it look as smooth and as streamlined as possible.